Hello and welcome to Business in Japan Television, the online video channel for successful executives to tell their own story. People are vital to the success of any organization. Any company is only as good as the men and women that it employs. But how does an organization make best use of its #1 resource? By being people smart. Dr. Greg Story, president of Dale Carnegie Japan, is here to talk about that very concept. Greg, thanks for joining us.
Great pleasure, Mike.
Greg, tell us about this concept, people smart. How can a company become more people smart?
So, a really important point. Companies look for talent. Talent usually are people with great technical skills, great knowledge, experience, and we promote them. That's where the trouble usually begins, because what got them to be excellent in themselves may not actually be common in their team. This team may not have the same skills, motivation, may not be as smart. And so you're the leader, but you've got to actually get the team with you. And this is where communication becomes very important. There's a great Yogi Berra quote I like about leadership. He says, leading people is easy. It's getting them to follow you that's the hard part. And that's right. We can get people turning up to get paid, but we really want them there to be engaged, be passionate about what they're doing. And if you're working 100 hours a week, and trust me, Mike, if anyone watching this is working 100 hours a week, they should call me. But even if you are working 100 hours a week, your team of 5 working 40 hours a week are doing double what you can do. So your ability to leverage your team as a leader becomes critical. And even though you might be technically smart, if they don't want to follow you, or they don't follow you with enough passion, and you're not people smart, then that's costing the company a lot of money in opportunity cost and lost potential.
So, Greg, is it a matter of getting employees to come out of their comfort zone?
It's a very important point. We want more, better, faster results with less. But if we keep doing the same things in the same way, we get the same results. No one's satisfied with that. But to get a different outcome, you need to do something different or new. Either of those are going to be affected in change somewhere. And attached to any sort of change is risk. And the whole idea about comfort zone is to eliminate risk. So we're actually asking people to step out of their comfort zone, take risk for change to get a different result. Now, I find it intriguing that 100 years ago, Dale Carnegie worked that out. And so he found he needed to design into the training opportunities for people to expand their comfort zone through breakthroughs. So that's the techniques that we use in our training, encouraging people to take small risks and grow in confidence, and then a little bit larger risks, grow in more confidence, so they can get that type of output that does eventually result in the outcomes the company wants in terms of better production, better revenues, more efficiency, those types of things.
Now, a lot has been written about leadership skills. Do you think leadership is something that you're born with, or is it something that you learn?
Yeah, this nurture versus nature argument is going on for a long time. I'm definitely on the nurture side. Even people we say, oh, they're a natural, a great leader. I think if you look back somewhere in their upbringing or their experiences, they learnt those leadership skills. They are a learnt skill. And again, it's a bit similar to the people smart aspect. It's communication skills in most part. If you understand the motivations of the people who are working with you, if you're a good communicator, if you can get people focused on having the common and same goal, then life gets a lot easier as a leader.
So let's talk about those basic leadership skills. How do you train somebody to be a leader?
Well, you need people to see their people as individuals. The old days of the sort of football halftime, locker room rah-rah type of thing are well and truly gone in the sports world. So why would you even think about it in the business world? Each individual has got certain motivations. How well do you know your people? How well have you articulated the goals of the organization? I often go to companies and I ask the teams, you've got a vision, mission, value statement on the wall here. What does it say? Actually, I take it off the wall and turn it around so they can't read it, and they can't repeat it for me. So what does that say? It says that the leadership have not sufficiently articulated the outcomes they want to the people who are supposed to deliver them. So as a leader, are you clear with your team on what you're trying to achieve with your group? Are you communicating that in a way that they care? Are you touching points in their motivation that make them engaged to want to help? Are they coming up with ideas themselves without you asking? Are you able to delegate to people so that you're not the one doing all the work?
Now, Dale Carnegie does a lot of sales training. What is important in motivating sales personnel?
Well, salespeople are usually motivated by money, so your structure of the sales system is very important. And if you want to have pure commission, everyone looks after themselves, expect no teamwork. If you want teamwork, then having everyone share in the group achievement works much better. And usually I think in business today, having that type of group pull together, share information, help each other works much better. The other thing with salespeople, ironically, is usually they're not trained. And this is not just Japan, this is around the world. They are not trained. And so classically, you probably had this experience yourself, the salesperson turns up, hey, they're great on the features. They'll tell you every little detail about whatever it is you're buying, service or product. What's the benefits of this? Usually not a lot of interest in telling you about those because they don't know to tell you about those. And to take it beyond that, well, great, what's the application of these benefits? And what's the evidence to back up what you're saying about these benefits? And do they go into a trial close at that point? Usually no. So training salespeople is, I think, a very smart investment by companies because you'll get great questioning skills. And that is the essence of solution sales. If you understand what the client is trying to achieve, you'll ask the right questions, get the right answers, and therefore be able to craft your solution in those terms that are relevant, meaningful, and have positive outcomes for you and the client.
Does being in Japan make it any different for a company to be people smart?
No, I mean, Japan's a very polite country. I mean, if you step on someone's toe in the subway train in the morning, the person whose toe was stepped on apologizes to you. So it's got this, high-density living culture where people have learnt to get along, to go along, really, is important. But that's not what we're talking about in leadership. We're not talking about in business. We're dealing with clients. We're talking about really communication skills, having those people skills to understand the motivation of the people you're dealing with, having the leadership skills to motivate your team to understand the clients, to understand their colleagues, to work in better teamwork, better outcomes for the solution sales for clients. So for me, Japan's no different. Set of skills here are the same. Culturally, maybe the way of articulating those are different, but the structure is not any different.
Greg, thanks for joining us.
Great pleasure, Mike.
That's Dr. Greg Story, the president of Dale Carnegie Japan. Thanks for watching Business in Japan Television.